So I have 5 sisters. My parents never wanted a boy, plus after they had me the doctors told my mom to wait for a few years before trying for more kids. So they always hated me for that. My maternal family, except my uncle, also shared her sentiments. My paternal family disowned my father. I was told from when I was little that it was because of me, but after I got in touch with them after I moved out, I found out it was because my father was married before my mother. He was married to a woman named Emily, who is now like a mother to me, for 2 years, and cheated on her the whole time during the marriage with my bio mother. Before leaving her while she was pregnant with my half-brother, Dylan. So when I was 9 my mother gave birth to my eldest younger sister. They were overjoyed spoiling her and later the triplets and Maya, while I wasn't spared a passing glance and always blamed for anything wrong that happens. Both the eldest and the triplets realized this and started doing things and blaming it on me. I was grounded and was sent to my room without dinner more times than I remember while I stayed with them. This horrible behavior was also extended to most other boys. It got worse after I came out as gay to my uncle when I was 15 and they somehow found out about it. I left home when I was 18, went LC with the whole family except my uncle. I married my BF of 7 years when I was 22, and later graduated from college. Both of us have great, high-paying jobs and we are quite well off. So 6 months ago I got a call from a social worker. My mother was arrested for drugs and my father was being sued for fraud and for other reasons. The case workers told me that my maternal family was deemed unfit to take care of my siblings and that my paternal family refused to take them in after meeting them. So they asked me if I would take them all in. I talked to my uncle and he told me that my first sister and the triplets are still the same, but Maya, who I never actually met, isn't like them. I decided to take in Maya and told this to the caseworker. They dropped off Maya a few weeks later and she was an angel. After that my parents called me demanding me to pay for a lawyer for them and how I was an AH for not taking in my other 4 sisters. I refused. After that my maternal family started calling me and complaining and yelling at me. My husband, uncle, Emily's family and paternal family tell me that it was my choice and fully support me, but I have want an outside opinion.
I do my makeup in the morning because it's something that forces me out of bed. My brother prefers to shower in the morning. This morning I was in our shared bathroom doing my makeup when he blew up at me, saying, "My hygiene is more important than your looks." I don't think he meant to hurt me, but I fired back telling him if he cared so much maybe he should take a shower at night. He refused and said that he would attract germs in his bed. I offered to help him change his sheets every week so he didn't feel grimy, but he said he had to shower in the morning so he could go to school. The second part of this is my brother taking a shower every single morning wastes time. He refuses to set an alarm, so I end up waking him up when I wake up. There's about 20 minutes of time while I get dressed and brush my hair and wake up that he could have time to shower, but he's still sleeping during that time. On top of all of this, my father and I are still making his lunch. He knows how to make his lunch, he just takes a shower and ends up late for his bus, so he cries because he doesn't have his lunch and he's going to starve. I've tried to explain that there's an hour between when he wakes up and he's supposed to be completely ready. I take up maybe 20 minutes in that hour. I also explained that bathing every day can dry your skin out, so he could do it every other day, and he freaked out telling me if I do that I'm disgusting. We have a lot of life stuff going on right now, like my mother recently walking out on us and only seeing us every few months, so my dad says that my brother is processing in his own way. I know I should be patient with him, but he's been driving me crazy. I care about him a lot, but it seems like he doesn't understand. Should I be more patient?
Yesterday I took my kids hiking on a nature trail/dog walking path. I was carrying the 2-year-old and my 4-year-old son was walking. My 4-year-old son told me he had to pee, so I told him to pee into the woods. I didn't tell him to actually walk into the woods out of view, because that's dangerous. He was peeing on a tree when a lady rounded a corner with her dog. She started yelling at me to get my kid. I told her he just needed to pee. She told me that was completely inappropriate. I pointed to her dog and made a "really" face. She said that's different, it is different, but not that much. There's no bathrooms out here. Going off the trail is dangerous, especially with the 2 little kids. She was really mad, so I just took my son's hand, he was done, and pulled him away, ignoring her. She called me a horrible mother, which hurt my feelings. When nature calls, you know. Is this not normal? It's normal to me.
Okay, to start off, I and my husband have 2 daughters together. He cheated last year and got a woman pregnant. I've tried over and over to be civil with her, but every time I do she just wants to play head games. I've cut off any contact with her and have asked my husband to respect me and just tell me when he talks to her and how she and baby are doing. We got into a huge argument last night because he went behind my back and paid her car payment. I don't care that he paid it, it's the point that he didn't say anything or even ask my opinion. So he left last night. She is at the hospital right now having the baby. He has called me, along with her, and has asked me to come and sit with her because she doesn't want to be alone, as he has a very important doctor's appointment to go to. I don't want to go sit with her. I do not wish ill on her or the baby, I just do not want to be a part of it. It hurts too bad. I should have added that I found out about the car payment situation last night. That started the argument. I have since made him leave. Removed his things from my home. Taken my name off of the shared bank account and contacted a lawyer. I was told I cannot get a divorce just yet because we have to be separated for a year. At first I did try to make this work, but after I found out about the car payment I realized I've been lied to the whole time. Made me wonder what else he has / could be hiding from me. I do not resent the baby at all. It is not her fault, as it's not my own children's fault either.
My grandma and I get along really well, she is amazing, I love her and look up to her. That's why my perspective can be biased and need some points of views to know if I fed up. Grandma had 5 children, my dad, my uncle, my aunt and my aunt, with grandpa. Grandpa was a terrible father and a garbage husband, an alcoholic who spent all his money on liquor, never supported grandma while she worked her SS to provide for her kids as a baker. She got tired of it and kicked him out in the 90s. She stayed as single mom and only provider. Did he pay child support? No. Did he help her buy a house for his kids? No. Did he ask for custody or try to spend time with his kids? No. He only visited once in a blue moon. Grandma and grandpa never divorced since my grandma didn't believe in it, and she was always a single mother. My grandma started dating William 2 years ago, but she didn't introduce him to her kids because she was afraid of their reaction, and I was the only one who knew about the affair. Grandma announced that she was moving to William's house this past July, and everyone was furious and started accusing her of cheating and that she was choosing her affair partner over her own kids. She was even hesitant about moving in with William, but I encouraged her because he makes her happy and he is a nice man. It's been almost 2 months and they refuse to talk to her or have low contact with her, and that is hurting her. She asked my grandpa for a divorce and he got mad at her and accused her of cheating. They were talking SHT about her. They 6 at a family dinner. Thus I told them to grow up and stop acting like kids since they are not. I told them that they should be happy about their mom's happiness because that woman dedicated her life to make life easier for them, and it's so unfair that they SHT on her while praising my grandpa, who had girlfriends by the way. They all called me TA for not taking their feelings into consideration, and they say that something doesn't feel right about their mom dating at this age. They accuse her of cheating, but that isn't cheating. They haven't been together for around 25 years. My grandpa had couple of GFS, yes, they were mad at him too, but it's time to grow up. AITA for telling them to grow up. I think they need to understand that their parents ain't getting back together, in case they have a hope, and that grandma has a right to be happy. I mean, she did her job already without any help.
have 3 daughters, Phoebe, Allie, and Janie. We also have a 2-year-old Chihuahua Wiener dog mix, Pebble. We were in the middle of a heat wave 2 weeks ago with temperatures hitting 107. Small dogs are more sensitive to heat, so we don't let him go to the backyard for long periods of time, and the deck is off limits because there's no shade on the deck. The problem is Pebble loves the deck because he can watch the cars, people walking on the trail behind our house, and he can see our neighbors' chickens. Janie doesn't have first period and doesn't leave for school until 10 a few days a week. Both Allie and Phoebe leave between 9, so it's Janie's responsibility to make sure Pebble is inside, the fans are on, and he has water. 2 weeks ago, in the worst of the heat wave, Pebble was crying at the deck door. Janie got annoyed and let him go on the deck. Then she left for school and forgot him on the deck. Allie came home a few hours later and started looking for Pebble. She found him passed out on the deck and called me sobbing. I left work early, took him to the emergency vet. They treated him for heat stroke. He had to stay at the vet for a few days, and Allie was inconsolable while he was gone. She was constantly crying, she wouldn't eat or leave her room, and she had a panic attack every time the phone rang because she was terrified that it was the vet telling us that Pebble was gone. Pebble made a full recovery, but now we have an expensive vet bill, and Allie still has extreme anxiety around losing Pebble. Janie's upset because Allie hasn't spoken to her since she forgot Pebble on the deck, and Phoebe rarely speaks to her and doesn't hang out with her anymore. Janie was upset about Pebble when he was in the vet, but now she's very nonchalant about what happened because he's fine. My husband and I have been talking about what to do with Janie. We decided on making her get a job to pay for Pebble's vet expenses, close to $2,000 after insurance. Janie's very upset about it because she has to quit swim team to get a job and says that we're ruining her life over a mistake. Now I'm starting to wonder if I'm the asshole for making her quit swim team to get a job. Also, she can't get a job after swim season because soccer season starts right after swim season. Then after soccer season she has softball season, then summer training camps. I just got out of a 4-year relationship with my HS sweetheart. We were so in love that I changed my college plans to go to the same school as him, at his request. We've been living together in the same apartment for most of our time at school and planned on staying in it until we graduate next spring. About 3 weeks ago he decided he was done, and it broke my heart. I was, and am, devastated, and my whole world feels like it's upside down. Even though it hurt, the breakup conversation was amicable. I cried and asked why. He said he didn't love me anymore and that he was going to move out when he could get some friends to help him. Then he went and slept on the couch for the rest of the week. At first I thought he was being classy about things, until it was time for him to move out. He said he'd be moving his things out during the day on Friday while I was in class, but when I got home everything was still here. He showed up at about 7 p.m., right as all our neighbors were getting ready to go out for the evening. With his buddies and 2 cop cars that sat in the parking lot right outside our apartment with their lights on the whole time he gathered his stuff. I was mortified. Our relationship was not violent or dramatic or anything, and he's got 50 pounds and 5 inches on me. I still don't know why he wanted police there while he took his stuff out of the apartment, but I spent the week after having to answer questions about it from everyone we know. Word traveled fast. The next weekend, my best friend showed up unannounced with a bottle of wine and 2 Party City cop costumes to try and cheer me up. We took all sorts of goofy pictures of her handcuffing me and both of us trying to look stern. It was the first time I smiled since the breakup, and I decided to post some of the funnier ones. I didn't expect him to see it since he blocked and unfollowed all my socials after the breakup. I woke up the next morning to texts from him and a bunch of his buddies saying how terrible I am and that I should be ashamed for making fun of him. I'm honestly just trying to move on with my life and heal with humor, but maybe I was petty for posting the pics.